Welcome back to the class. Today let us start the new chapter, chapter 4, materials, metals and non-metals, on page 55 and 56. As we all know that in this world all the matters are made up of elements. You know that for living things the basic unit is cell. We all human beings are made from a single cell called zygote. In the same manner, every matter is made up of single unit called element, or we can say molecule. For example, our drinking water is made up of two kinds of element, that is hydrogen and oxygen elements. The oxygen we breathe is made of only one kind of element, that is oxygen. Now we all understood that every matter is made up of element or molecules. In this world, more than 118 elements have been discovered. This is a periodic table in which all the elements' names are, that is, symbols of the elements are listed. For example, the symbol of element hydrogen is H, which is the lightest element among all. Likewise, the element helium symbol is He. These all elements are basically classified into metals, nonmetals, metalloids, and inert gases or noble gases. Among 118 elements, more than 90 elements are metals and 7 metalloids. The last group 7 inert gases, the rest are nonmetals. Metalloids are boron, silicon, arsenic, antimony, polonium, etc. These bluish green colored elements in this periodic table are metals. Carbon C, nitrogen N, oxygen O, helium He, hydrogen H are nonmetals. Materials like tools, machines, cars, buses, houses, jewelry, utensils, all these things are made of elements. Here the activity 1 is you are going to collect some pieces of iron, copper, aluminium, gold, silver and rub the surface of each elements or each metals with a sandpaper. After rubbing these metals with the sandpaper, you can notice that these materials or these pieces of metals shine. This activity shows that metals are having lustrous property or shining property. Activity 2 is to show that different metals are having different hardness. Materials required for this activity are piece of sodium metal and iron metal, kerosene, a pair of tongs, knife. If you keep this sodium metal outside, it reacts with oxygen present in the atmosphere and burns. That is the reason these sodium and potassium metals are always kept in kerosene bottle. Here kerosene acts as an inactive liquid. Sodium metal does not react with this liquid kerosene. Now take out a small piece of this sodium metal from the kerosene with the help of pair of tongs and cut this metal with the help of knife. We can cut like this. So what do you understand? Sodium metals are not too hard that we can cut with a knife easily. In the same manner, you are going to cut the metals like aluminium, magnesium, copper, and nickel. It does not cut at all. So we can conclude that different metals are having different hardness. Now let's discuss about some chemical properties of metal and non-metal. Here is an example of metal, sodium. Every atom has fixed number of electrons. Likewise, sodium atom has 11 electrons. Every atom's electrons are distributed in various level. First cell maximum 2 electron they accommodate and the second cell maximum 8 electron. The rest of the electron occupies in third cell. These electrons revolves around the nucleus. This is the nucleus of an atom. Sodium atom has total 11 number of electrons. These electrons are distributed in various level around the nucleus. Sodium first cell has 2 electrons and the second cell has 8 electrons and the remaining 1 electron occupies in the third cell. Here sodium last cell has only one number of electron. If last cell electrons are 8 in number, then that atom is considered to be stable. Here the sodium has last cell only one electron. So in order to attain stability, it will donate that one electron which is present in the last cell to the neighboring element or atom. After donating one electron, sodium form positive ions. So what do you understand? Likewise, all metals donate electron and form positive ions. Metals form positive ions. Look at this non-metal chlorine atom. Chlorine atom has 17 electrons. I told you, electrons revolve around the nucleus. So first cell how many electron it can occupy? Maximum 2 electrons. And the second cell maximum 8 electrons. And third cell also maximum it can accommodate 8 electrons. But chlorine has 17 electrons. So first cell it occupies first 2 electrons. Secondly it occupies 8 electrons. The remaining 7 electrons occupy in the third cell. Is chlorine a stable atom? No. To be stable, last cell should have 8 electrons. Here chlorine is having last cell 7 electrons. So in order to attain stability, it gain 1 electron from the neighboring atom and form its stability. Thus it form negative charge. So all nonmetals form negative charge. Oxygen carries 2 negative charge because the last cell of the oxygen has 6 electron. In order to attain stability or in order to attain 8 electron, this oxygen gain 2 more electron, so it will form 2 negative charge. Now let's discuss about some physical properties of elements. Some physical properties are state, color, lustrous property, hardness, density, malleability, ductility, conductivity, sonority, melting point and boiling point. Basically all metals are solid except mercury. Mercury is the only liquid metal. Remaining all non-metals are maybe gases or liquids or solid. The liquid nonmetal is bromine and the solid nonmetal is carbon, sulfur, etc. And the gaseous nonmetal is oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, etc. Second property is color. Basically, most of the metals are silver or grey in color. Metals are having lustrous or shining properties. Generally, metals are harder than non-metals except sodium and potassium. These sodium and potassium metals can be cut with knife. Metals are having high density. How will you measure the density? It is the ratio of mass to volume. Its SI unit is gram per centimeter cube. The next property is malleability. What is malleability? It is the property of the metals that metals can be beaten into thin sheet with a hammer. Now let us move to activity 3. It is to find malleability properties of metals. The materials required are piece of aluminium and piece of carbon and a hammer. Now what you are going to do is you are going to beat these two elements aluminium and coal with the hammer. Which one will show the malleability property? Only this aluminium metal can be beaten into thin sheet. If you beat this coal, it turns into small pieces. We can say that non-metals having brittle nature. Brittle meaning broken into small pieces. In the same manner, we can beat metals like aluminium, copper, silver and it change into thin sheet. That means it shows malleability properties. So what do you conclude? All the metals are having malleability properties whereas non-metals are having brittle nature.